Texas's most popular swimming holes, known for its cool springs and 100 feet deep underwater cave. For the fourth time ever in history, the well has stopped flowing.
This would be probably only the fourth time that this has happened in recorded history, so it is kind of a huge deal and it is cause for concern.
Normally there's water here, but as you can see, it is bone dry. We're right next to Jacob's Well, and you can see how low the water levels are now.
The Watershed Association in Hays County gave a tough update today, revealing Jacob's Well remains closed as the spring experiences zero flow.
When we are in a situation like we've been in the last 2 years, where we're about 24 inches behind in rainfall. Last year we were about 16 inches, and this year, you know, we're about 12 inches behind. So we're not getting that recharge, but we still are pumping the water out. The aquifer, if we think of it like a bank account, and the rain is the deposit into the bank account, and the pumping, and in some ways the spring flow is what we're spending. Now, we founded the Watershed Association in 1996, and I moved here to Jacob's Well in 1988. Now, the community was organizing around trying to incorporate Wimberley as a city, and one of the ideas was we need to form a land trust, a conservation group, to do science and research to try to consolidate land in the recharge zone and educate the community about the importance of protecting land to protect water.
For the watershed, I do a lot of different things. I help really just find continuity between all the programs, help organize things. I help with the Art for Water program, coordinating that. I help with partnership development. I wear a lot of hats.
You know, my original inspiration was really to create art, and I just think art's one of the greatest hopes that we have as humans, to communicate these deeper feelings that sometimes our words can't touch, but we're able to, through art, convey these deeper meanings, these deeper connections, and the fact that we're not separate from nature, that we are nature. And I think that feels really good to have come almost 30 plus years to kind of return to something that is so important to me personally.
You know, artists have traditionally, throughout history, been storytellers, helping us translate concepts and you know, helping us to communicate things that are difficult to use language for. And so Art for Water is our way of broadening our audience, of using all kinds of different tools and mediums to help connect people to this message and to connect them back to nature in a way that is felt and is really inspired and is less mental, so that people can really develop a deeper connection to the stories and to the places that we're hoping to preserve.
Well, nature to me, it's very, you know, the relationship I have with it and my art has is like very direct. It's almost always talking to me and telling me what to do. Oh, I'm on the Watershed newsletter is what it is, and yeah, it seems something like I saw it right away. I was like, I gotta do this.
You know, we are nature, where more than 50% of us is made up of the things that we find outside in the world. And so we can put shoes on our feet and concrete beneath us and walls between us and the outside world, but essentially we are what we find outside of ourselves. And so I think when we try to fit all these concepts into the mental space, it gets a little lost, and our human expression and our human nature doesn't find a way back home as easily. And so art is a really universal tool and universal language that helps to translate really complicated matters. And so I find that we can get a much diverser audience from all walks of life and all ages to understand something so simplistically when it's connected through something that's expressive.
I just feel like, especially when I'm, you know, kayaking on the river or whatever, and the things I see and the things that show themselves to me, I'm like, I can never, like, I was telling somebody the other day, I go to the river, and every time I go to the river, something happens that just blows my mind. I'm like, wow. and then I get a picture or something, or every single time there's like something new happens, and I'm like, and it's just like the small little stretch, and I'm amazed that I could see something new every time I go. It's weird. It's beautiful. When you get a bunch of artists doing the same thing, trying to tell this, spread a message, it's always very powerful, you know. So I feel like it's always the more the better. And with art, it's just like it shines bigger, brighter. Most of the kites aren't painted. They're like, because they're from paintings but transferred on, you know, digitally. But the kite maker, I remember speaking with her early on. She was like, if you can paint it, it'd be so much better for me and a lot better, you know. It'd be like, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And they sent me like this whole, like, that nylon ripstop, whatever nylon it was called, and I just stretched. I got a big ass stretcher bar and just wrapped it around there and painted it in my backyard, and then they shipped it out to Washington State, I believe, and somebody put it together, and yeah, so it's like a great big painting I did, but it's on a kite, and I'm like, I still want to fly it though. I still haven't flown it.
I do have an ambition to paint again and to keep, you know, to do my art as I, you know, get older. But the biggest gratification I have, I think, is working with the young people like you, that I see the inspiration to, you know, how are we going to solve these big issues, climate change and you know, water scarcity, these things that you know, we shouldn't leave that on your generation. We need to help to do something now to make that better. I do feel like, as being an artist, you know, it's like what you leave behind. It's kind of, the more I'm doing, the more that's going to be left, and the bigger footprint that will be left. And it's all here in San Marcos, and with the river and everything. It's just like, it doesn't, I wanted to, early on, you know, I was like, oh, I want to be known everywhere, but now I'm just like, I don't care about everywhere, I just care about here. And it's like, this is all that matters with my art right now, and I just feel like it's all here centrally, and it's all connected with the river. I'm all in, you know. I've spent 30 plus years doing it, and it's, you know, it's become more than a career, it's a calling. You know, it's something that it's a purpose that's bigger than myself. It's more than, you know, even make me as an artist, doing something that will live beyond me, that has connected so many people in the community to it, that has, you know, brought, you know, hundreds of thousands of visitors from around the world to experience it. That feels incredible.